Welcome to the GOZA podcast, where we talk about all things rock and roll. Today, we're continuing our series on the greatest moments in rock and roll history. What are we doing today?
All right, so today we have a fan recommendation. They wanted us to react to Van Halen, Eruption solo, live without a net. And so I've been wanting to do, Van Halen, and I just didn't know the exact performance to showcase. So this is a great one. It's after the first singer had already left the band, so David Lee Roth had already left, and now they got Sammy Hagar. He's the singer during this era, and so it's kind of like their comeback era, right? It's the 80s, so not when they first came out on the scene, because when Van Halen first came out of the scene, his guitar playing was so unlike anything anybody had ever heard. People didn't know if it was guitar or if it was a synthesizer, when he's doing all this tapping stuff. Changed the game forever and made a million spawns and copycats. So this is kind of already beyond that era, and now they're, showing that they still got it, okay? So let's get right into this.
All right.
One thing about Eddie, too, I just gotta say, you can always tell he enjoys playing guitar. You can tell by the smile on his face, he really enjoys playing guitar. Cigarette in the guitar. Gotta give his guitar some,
That was interesting. I sound like a jazz.
Oh yeah, exactly. You gotta wine and dine him before he, takes you home. Super rock star. You can hear the classical influences in the tapping arpeggios. Those are classical, like. It's the classic way.
Was there one wrong note in that?
There it is. And let him do this next part. So there's another 6 minutes of him going off, right? And so, you know, we don't want to make this too long, so if you guys, it's online, go check it out, Live Without a Net. And is there any wrong notes in there? See, that's the thing about him, right, is that there are no wrong notes for Eddie. You know, if he hits a note that he didn't intend to, then he can just, okay, I'm going over there, I'm going that way. And so he's so unorthodox, you know, that's the thing, is like, he knows all these techniques. And you can tell he grew up on, you know, first learned classical piano. So that's where all that like Bach, but then he's like rock and roll, you know, Marshalls all the way to 11. And so,
to 11.
Yeah, he's adding in the rock and roll stuff, he's adding in that, and then he's also adding in all those blues licks, you know, he's just this,
he's a unicorn.
And he's mixing everything together that he knows and making it himself, you know. And so a lot of those things are not theoretically correct, you know, they're not diatonically correct, but he breaks the rules, he goes beyond the rules, you know what I mean? Like if most guitar players tried to go outside of those boxes, it just wouldn't sound good, you know.
Yeah.
And he's a master at that, and his phrasing is like all over the place, you know. That's why it's like almost too much for some people, you know, where it's like, it's not like a B.B. King solo where every note is like, you know, right there, like, he's going to take you to Neptune and back real quick, you know.
Right.
And I mean, the whammy bar tricks that he's doing, like, you know, that's all him, that's all original. Everybody else started using that after him, you know, hitting those harmonics and bending it up and doing the tapping and stuff like that. Everyone started doing it after him. And, the thing is that his guitar playing is he's still focused on the notes. He's still searching for the notes. He's still searching for the phrases, the musicality in it, right? So that's the thing, is like he spawned all these shredders that just didn't sound good because they were just too focused on the techniques. You know, they were focused on the tapping and the, you know, the tremolo picking instead of, wait, how does this sound? Does this sound cool at all? You know, or is it just me freaking whacking off on the guitar, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what people forget when they're learning this shred style, is like, you still have to make it musical.
You still got to connect with the audience.
You still got to give it the audience something to digest.
And he was very present with his audience, and he seemed very present with himself and what he was playing. It wasn't just like you said, jacking off on the fretboard, but
right.
Very intentional.
Exactly.
Each note was like, he seemed very, very there.
He was in it. Yeah, and you know, like I said, this was kind of their comeback era. So he kind of like had to be present. He knew, okay, you know, no more partying hardcore before the shows, you know what I mean? Like very present, you know, I have a job. People came here to see us. They paid good money. There's interviews where they kind of talk about this, you know, because towards the end of the David Lee Roth, the former singer era, you know, they were just like so famous and popular, and that like kind of full of themselves, and like especially the singer was very, you know, flamboyant and extravagant, to where again the showmanship, the entertainment comes first, and then the music comes second or third or on the back burner. So he's like, boom, bringing it back to like, okay, these guys paid good money. They came to see me do my thing, you know.
Right.
And he brought it. 100%. 100%.
I love how flawless the whole thing was. Like, it just looked like there were no mistakes. I'm sure there was, according to him, as there is with every guitar, but it just seems so flawless.
Effortless. Yeah.
Effortless.
Yeah, and that comes with just playing your guitar for hours and 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 hours. You know, that's what there's a quote, one of my favorite quotes, that he says, you know, he would just lock himself in a room with his guitar and pray to God that something good came out.
Wow.
You know, and that's all that it takes to be a good guitar player, a good musician. You just lock yourself in your room and have a little bit of faith that, okay, if I just do this, something's going to come out magical.
That's inspirational.
So if you guys like this video, be sure to follow. Comment, you know, what you want us to react to next. Comment if you've ever seen Van Halen live. I got to see them in Hollywood. They on Hollywood Boulevard. They shut down the whole boulevard, and Jimmy Kimmel put up a big stage. I'll never forget that. And you know, again, drop your ideas. What did you think of the solo? We love seeing you guys in the comments. We love going in there and talking to you guys. We're in it for the passion. We're in it for the music. We're in it to preserve history as well as show it to a new audience. You know.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you're in your 50s or 60s and you've seen this a million times, send it to, you know, someone who you don't think saw it.
A little niece or a nephew or...
Yeah, exactly, or a son or even a grandson at this point, you know. So keep it alive. We'll see you guys on the next video.